and hopefully we'll get to use the ace match one again if this goes tied up. But in the top right, he is on his last life here in the finals, looking for a way to win this and come back on Central Protocol. I'm expecting 2 more barracks to come down, but there's no gas, so maybe not. Will he 3 racks? It's Major. And his opponent at the top left is none other than the ever-scary Red Zerg player, Acer's Nerchio. Now, Nerchio is scary for a lot of different reasons. I think one of the biggest things he has, though, is this scary cunning to just know what his opponent's doing at all the times. There's a lot of times back in, I want to say earlier HOTS, late Wings of Liberty, when I started getting into StarCraft 2, and I heard a lot of other players go on talk shows and refer to Nerchio as being kind of coin flippy, but he would always win the coin flip type thing. And it's funny, I think it was, oh gosh, I think it was actually Suppy who said that. Maybe I'm misquoting. But that general paraphrasing is kind of what stuck with me when it came to Nerchio for a lot of his career and watching him play and win tournaments and do this versus that. And I think with WCS, the new system, excuse me, potentially being region locked, while Nerchio is perhaps not everybody's favorite player, I think Nerchio is one of my favorites to do really well under the new system. He is just going to be a force to be reckoned with, and a lot of the times he loses or goes on tilt, it's off server. It's when he has to play on North America or something like that. So if there's a lot of LAN events going on, I tell you guys right now, keep an eye out for Nerchio for this the first season of WCS at least. The guy he's going to be scary. He's going to be really scary. A couple Lings going to head across the map. Not really going to be able to get cancel on anything. Maybe stop the bunker. People are saying Major and Legacy the Void is bad. I'm going to have to disagree with you entirely considering he's been playing so well. First Blood! But the Lings are going to fall back and not over-dedicate. Unfortunately, they couldn't get anything from this. Scouting would have been nice, but the Overlord's a bit low, so it's even scared to dip into the base and see what Major's doing. I mean, there's a couple things you got to ask question marks about. Is there a third CC? On a map like Central Protocol, it's unlikely, so you can almost remove that from the equation without having to scout it. The second question really is, how many barracks were there? The fact that he hasn't been hit by Reapers probably tells him about 1. So that kind of, you know, deduction leads to, okay, factory to starboard. And that's what you do still need to scout, though. Is it going to be Ravager, or sorry, is it going to be Liberators? Is it going to be a tank drop? Like, what comes out of these? Hell, is it going to be a Cyclone for some weird, crazy reason? I mean, we don't see mech that much anymore. It looks like it's going to be Hellion Banshee, which, if Nerchio scouts this, that's a pretty good Nidaswarm build to deal with it, but he's not going to scout it. And if he does do a Nidaswarm, it's just totally blind and strong, because a map like Central Protocol is susceptible to it, but I do think that he's looking to play a normal game out and not a cheesy game. For Major's sake, though, I do like the Banshees. They provide a little bit more than the Liberator does. Of course, the Liberator is the ultimate run away from the mineral line type unit, but the Banshee is the most maneuverable when it comes to kills. If you get against these Roaches and Ravagers, for example, SCV is going to have to dance around the bunker. Unfortunately for Major, it breaks immediately, however, and now the Ravagers and Roaches just going to bust it. They're like uninvited guests to a party, drinking all your booze and just being assholes for no reason whatsoever. Even killing these depots is pretty nasty because Major going to get supply blocked a bit with this. The reactor going to be picked off pretty easily. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't want to say this is the end of the game. It's not with the Banshee coming out, but this has the potential to do a lot of damage before it gets cleaned up. Already denying all that mining on the natural base. The Ravagers and Roaches going to focus the Cloak. Oh, no tech left for the Banshee. Means no second Banshee, but also means no Cloak for this one Banshee. And the Ravagers are just kind of picking up the SCVs. At this point for Nerchio, he's suiciding these units to do as much damage as possible before they die. Crystal Ball's going to come in the mineral lines. SCV's going to try and hold these units in place, but Major bleeding out a fair amount of workers, losing some important things like a reactor and a tech lab this early, not easily replaced. And the best part of this is he kills the Hellions. So now Major can't necessarily counterattack. He's only got the Banshee, and that's about it. It's just one Banshee. There's not going to be 6 Hellions running into the natural base while the Banshee distracts in the main. Nerchio takes a third base and a MajOr hatchery simultaneously. This is confidence if I've ever seen it, and well-deserved too, because honestly, Major's got nothing. He can't counterattack. And this is a situation where you need to counterattack. You need to do some damage to pay back your opponents. So this Banshee's got 7 kills on her. Kudos. Let's see if she can get some more, but it seems unlikely. Thank you, integrate this function for the banner. Anyways, Banshee gonna be driven off by the Queens. No cloak. Oh, again, no cloak means it's gonna go down. Major loses the Banshee. This is one of those tilt-inducing things where you've like, okay, I've got a decent economy, but I've lost so much. Is it worth playing this out? And unfortunately for Major, he has to. I think if he had another game under his belt, this is where you tap out, you take a deep breath, come into the next game more calm and collected. However, he knows that this is the last game for him in the series. He is down 2-1, and tapping out is simply not really an option. Infestation pin out of Nerchio. He's got so much larva to work with this macro hatchery, and it does seem like he's just going to go Roach Ravager all in. And that's fine. I think in this situation, he's going to be able to make it work. Major is in a really tough spot. I mean, upgrades are coming a little bit later for Nerchio, but not too far behind that of Major. Major, of course, finally got Stim, but there's not a lot of tech. Not a lot of tech to work with. Tank coming out is nice, though. That's going to be good. Some medevacs to shuffle around a little bit, but no matter how you look at this picture, Major is down in supply by a very significant number. And if the roaches were just roaches, maybe he actually holds the ramp. But there's going to be Ravagers. They're going to shoot that tank down, they're going to bust that bunker, and Nerchio's checking to see if there's a third. Confirming there's not, lets him know that all he has to do is bust through this natural base to win. Major's got to hold this. Keep in mind, Nerchio is going fairly all in, so if Major does hold this, he's going to be in an okay spot, but I don't know if he's going to get that third anytime soon. Another Banshee, I guess I made at some point, is going to start picking off some of these Ravagers, ideally. Ravagers only do have 120 health, so they'll go down pretty quick, but the Banshee, oh, almost gets caught in that corrosive bile. WTF. This is not looking good for Major, but he does drive this back and gets a third base down. He's going to bring some of the tanks and the Marines out. Yeah, so much of this game I feel goes back to like Major having built Hellions in the first place, though. I don't want to get too overly critical about this, but we are seeing consistently through more and more TvZs, while Hellions were the unit you absolutely must have all times, no matter what in Heart of the Swarm, they are not that case in Legacy of the Void. And frankly, a lot of times, they are proving to be detrimental more than helpful because you've invested money in anything else. It would have been better to stop a Nidus Swarm, stop Roaches and Ravagers, to stop getting too out of hand. This is a quick kill. Not bad. Still leaking units. Oh, I didn't mean to drop those. I hate when that happens on your medevac. You like click on the medevac to unload and you don't hit stop, so it just keeps unloading units as you pick them back up. Kind of annoying. Roaches in the main, going to be picked off 1 or 2 at a time. This isn't too bad of a drop, of course, but this isn't going to be able to get to that mineral line. Major does lose too much of it. Backside of his base now vulnerable as the rocks start getting targeted down. There are some tanks, but they're going to get, ooh, picked up barely. Corsair Bile is a hell of a thing to worry about. Of course, it's the Overlords and Overseers providing the high ground vision, allowing Nerchio to actually push in and perhaps take engagements. Keep in mind, this Infestor has used its fungal growth, so there are no like hold you in place while I devastate you type abilities. Corsair Biles are going to have to just hit units that are caught out of position. This third base, though, has got all the SCVs in it, and honest to God, losing this is probably going to be bad enough for Major. Both players are supply blocked, ironically enough, while this goes on, but Nerchio's got 185 supply. Major has 120. In fact, Nerchio has more army supply than Major has in overall supply. He's going to push up this ramp. There's some tanks. There's a lot of tanks. He's going to shuffle them around with these medevacs for as long as he possibly can, but that's not going to be very long at all. And I think Nerchio is about to win this game. Major's out of units. He's out of life. He kills so many of his own roaches with a Corsair Bile, but even then, he's still got so many units left over. Oh my gosh, the devastation, the force of Zerg, and this wasn't even Ultralisk, this was Roaches and Ravagers. This all comes from the back end of Major just getting that bunker lost in the early game. He scans the third, he scans for a fourth, sees no fourth, thinks maybe he's still in it. Nope, good game. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Nerchio will take that 3-1 here in the finals, and